And what is up, guys? Andrew here today, bringing you guys my top 5 stock picks for 2018. So let's get started right here. Coming in at number 5, we have Nvidia. Nvidia is a graphics card company. Although recently they have been getting into the AI and robotics areas as well. And that's one of the reasons why I'm super bullish on Nvidia, especially for long term, not just 2018, but until at least 2021. They are the leader in the graphics card industry. They have been doing quite well with their stock, at least, due to the surge of cryptocurrency and how you need graphics cards to mine those. However, I think that the robotics and the AI industry is just getting started right here. And I think Nvidia will definitely be a huge component in that industry, especially with the driverless cars as well. And just looking at their numbers right here, they have a PE ratio of 55. Their forward PE is 52.97, so it's not the best PE ratio for sure. The dividend is quite negligible, but they do have a really good quarterly earnings growth year over year, and I think it's 54% quarterly earnings growth year over year, and that's absolutely huge. I think Nvidia will keep that up. I think their earnings per share will go up too. Their PE ratio will continue to go down, although maybe a little bit slower, but I don't think that's a big deal, to be honest. I think they're a huge player right now. It's going to continue. They don't have much debt either as a company, so I think that's definitely a huge plus. And right now we're sitting about $223, and I want to say my conservative price target for end of year 2018, all my price targets are going to be for end of year 2018, is $310. So yeah. It is pretty hard to price target Nvidia though, just due to it's pretty volatile. So take what I have with a grain of salt. And let's move on to number 4 here. It's going to be Bank of America. So if you're watching this video, you probably know that the new tax bill and all that is really bullish on financials. So a lot of the big banks will do well because of that. Also, if the Fed increases interest rates, right now they're projected to increase rates 3 times for 2018. And I think if that does happen, then it will be good for financials. And if it doesn't, a lot of people might be disappointed. So we're kind of banking on a few things here, but I think we should see a good year for financials. So the 2 biggest banks basically in financials is JP Morgan and Bank of America, and also kind of a tertiary is Wells Fargo. But with all the scandals that Wells Fargo goes through, I'm just not a huge fan. I like Chase. I'm personally invested into Chase and not Bank of America as of this moment. However, I think Chase is definitely more stable of a stock. But Bank of America, in my opinion, might have a bit more upside in 2018, and that's why it's my number 4 pick. My top 5 stock picks are going to be a mix of, it's not going to get you the biggest gains necessarily. However, I want to get us the biggest gains at a very acceptable risk factor, in my opinion. So that's what I base my top 5 list off of here. So that's one of the reasons why I chose Bank of America over JP Morgan. It's because I think Bank of America will have more upside. Looking here at some of their numbers, their PE of 17, forward PE of 16.9. That is going to be lower than Chase's, I believe. So that is good. And also they do have more quarterly earnings growth year over year. I think beating JP Morgan by about 10%. I think it's around 17% versus 7%. So yeah. Lastly, I feel like a lot of young people nowadays are going to go to either Bank of America or Chase, just because those are the most easily accessible. Those are the cookie cutter ones that people just go to. So excluding Wells Fargo and possibly some of the smaller banks out there, credit unions. And I think Bank of America, as a household name, is definitely going to do well too in the coming years. So yeah, my number 4 pick is Bank of America. Moving on to number 3 here, it is Micron. So Micron had a crazy year in 2017. Here is a 1-year chart right here. We can see that it more than doubled all the way up until late November, when the entire tech sector took a pretty sizable correction here. However, we are sitting around $43 now, and I believe that MU at this point is still, the correction was too much in my opinion, and they have a forward PE ratio right here of 4.39, which is just absolutely insane when you think about it. Earnings per share is $6.35. That's also crazy. Micron doesn't have dividends, but that doesn't really matter. I think one of the only reasons why Micron is still only $43 at this point is because a lot of investors are scared due to its cyclical nature of DRAM. However, I think that with, again, the whole AI and self-driving cars, just the whole tech industry is going to eat up memory. I think that this time MU stock price is here to stay, and their fundamentals as a company is great too. If you just look at it, their earnings are all amazing. My price target for MU is going to be $70 for end of year 2018, and I think you could honestly reach that by the end of quarter 3 even, if we have a good year here and nothing crazy happens. So yeah, that's MU. It is quite the volatile stock though, which is why it's only at number 3. But of all the stocks on my list here, MU will probably be one of the biggest percentage gains at the end of this year, in my opinion. And moving on to number 2, we have Alibaba. So Alibaba is often considered the Amazon of China, and thinking about it like that, I think it is hard to be surprised at Alibaba's also doubling in 2017. I do think they still have a lot of room to go though, and one of the reasons why this is only number 2 on my list, and honestly it could be number 3 if you swap this in Micron, is because Alibaba is a Chinese company, so there is inherent risk in that. The Chinese government, who knows what they can do, but I think that with the money maker that Alibaba is, that it is going to be probably your safest investment to invest in China, and I think it's going to yield very large gains to people who invest this year. Jack Ma, great. Their forward PE ratio from their current one is a very great gain, so I'm excited about that. Good earnings per share. Again, no dividend on this one right here, but the growth is going to be huge. If you don't want to invest in Alibaba, either because you just don't like it or the high price tag, I would also look into JD, which is up and coming. Definitely going to be a big competitor to Alibaba. You could also go, for Tencent, which has holdings in Alibaba, so that'll be good too. And my price target for Alibaba is gonna be, it's probably gonna be $300 for end of year 2018. I think Alibaba is gonna go big this year. And lastly, in the number 1 spot, my number 1 pick for 2018 is gonna be Microsoft. So reason why is I think Microsoft is very overlooked, frankly, compared to the FANG stocks, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. Cloud technology is definitely here to stay. It's definitely been on the up, and the biggest player in cloud as of this moment is Amazon with AWS. However, many people don't know about this about Microsoft, but you think about Microsoft, you think Windows or Xbox, but a large part of their revenue is actually cloud services with Azure. And I think Azure is just getting started. It's got huge growth potential. It is killing it right now. Another thing I really like about Microsoft is how diversified their profits are. They make a lot of money from a lot of different sources. Office 365, which is now subscription based, is one of their big money makers, and I think that is also here to stay. Their dividend is not too bad right now, and I definitely see them raising that in the future. And I think they continue to have good earnings. Their forward PE ratio is good, earnings per share is good, their balance sheet is good, and everyone's familiar with Microsoft. This is definitely a household name. I think it is undervalued, or fairly, I think it's fairly valued right now. After the tech sector crashed back in November, it was definitely undervalued in my opinion. I picked some up when that happened. But Microsoft is definitely going to have a good year in 2018. Maybe not the most explosive gains compared to Micron or Alibaba, but definitely this is the one stock that I am most confident in to lock in at least 40% gains. So my price target for Microsoft for 2018 is going to be $125. Ambitious, but we'll see. So that's about it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please drop a like, please drop a comment. Anything to help me out, any future videos if you want me to talk about anything, and be sure to subscribe to hit any new videos that I upload. And yeah, so until next time, guys, take it easy.